Good morning all. Welcome to another session here, end of the week, Freaky Friday. So we're gonna see what happens for Freaky Friday today. But so far it seems like price is on this way down, because we were selling off quite heavy. This was what, yesterday? Yeah, we sold it quite heavy yesterday. This is more towards the London closure. I think what was happening yesterday, guys? Powell was speaking, right? Let's see. Yeah, Fed Powell was speaking, but he spoke at 8:30. That push happened at like London close, slightly after London close. So that's what I think is the direction for the day. I believe we should be heading down. You made your own chart analysis on Discord? Okay, nice. We're gonna have a look at those. Gonna have a look at those. Yeah, but right now what I think the direction is on gold is bearish. Like, it seems more bearish than anything, to be honest. Right now, previous daily candle closed bearish as well. As we can see, we created ourselves like some kind of a resistance by 40.40. Price has some clean range. Let's see that weekly. It's the weekly candlestick also pulling back. Man, that weekly candle seriously had barely a bottom wick, but I doubt that weekly is gonna flip. I don't see a reason as to why a weekly candle there would flip. It was probably most likely stay like this, close bullish. But what we're seeing right now is like that end of the week volume coming in for potential flip to the downside. I can't get in Discord. Try using like a different device. If you're on your computer, you can try a different browser or different device. Maybe download the app. Yeah, we got daily coming down. Let's see that 4 hours coming down too. It's chopping up quite a lot. You see a lot of indecision here in the market. Yeah, I got a bunch of dojis. But if price starts to move up today, that could be quite interesting. Got resistance over here. I don't think we're going to hit all-time highs, though. It doesn't feel like it. No, it's a pretty low probability for all-time highs to be hit today. Most likely, we're just going to see some kind of like pullbacks, if anything. Right now, it's currently in this distribution to the downside. As you can see, like price was moving up here, and then it's kind of setting up like a point A, and it's currently in a distribution coming down towards like 39.47. Daily is now trending at 0.40%. to break, just break this whole zone and then calm down. I got now so afraid. See, first was an L. Yeah, that range was brutal. It kind of gave me vibes of yesterday London session. Even pre-London time. Yesterday we had quite a bit of that similar like PA going on. You see like here, it's a similar vibe like this. Here a bit of choppiness, here very much choppiness. Then it trickled, then volume started coming. Closer we're getting towards New York session open. That was all right, cool. So this is the time where volume, I typically see volume start to come in here. So it came in a little bit later actually. It came in like an hour later than when I usually expect. We got stuck in this range for ages. It's like price didn't want to move yesterday. Finally had one pop above it. I'm like, okay, interesting. Are we gonna move up? And I see it came back down, which is kind of brutal as well because we had clean range on the left on the hourly. It came down, so a little fake out situation over here, little accumulation, liquidity grab, and took a buy. I actually got slipped on this. Good thing it just moved up, so I was quite happy about that. Got slipped in that, but you know, price was to fill this range by 40, 44. Then it kind of opened up. You see how much more it just opened up past all this accumulation from yesterday. Just started opening up a lot more nicer here. See this? Let's see. Yeah, I think someone took a sell over here. This was, I think the doctor, right? I was also watching this. I was watching this area as well afterwards. Like, that looks pretty good. All right, AD. So done. Next is to make it to payout. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Don't have to trade copier, so trading all accounts separately. It went slow, but passed this one as well. Passed the Lucid test. Lucid accounts have officially been activated. Nice. Some W's over here. One second, chat. 1 second. I'm just gonna switch the scene real quick. Frankie. See what Frankie's saying. Sell below, break. Yeah, I think that's it. Little accumulation, breakout. That was the play right there. It's on the 5 minute. It's pretty good. Full TP done. Nice. Let's see. Smart money reversal on gold plus displacement plus MSS on the higher time frame on a key level of 0.5 weekly dealing range. Current weekly dealing range. All right. Beautiful range on the upside here too. Up towards resistance. This price is breaking. I see a little inverted, potential inverted. Not really an accumulation, but yeah, potential inverted. You can see with this candlestick here, I came without volume on that right shoulder, breaking these wick highs. And that range looks really good. Let's see. This is on the, what, 15 minute. Damn. Gold buys, Vic. I know you don't. Okay, no, this was last time. Okay, awesome. Got the top and bottom, but follow with the plan and close them as TP in plan. But really nice to see this type of reactions. Yeah, let me see what's going on here on gold. What are we hitting? Oh, already 0.55. Damn, yeah, it's like a bearish. It feels more bearish than bullish, to be honest. I think what I would wait for a trade, I'll just gotta wait for a nice little pullback. Create like some kind of a nice little structure and then take it to the downside. Since it's already distributed, basically it's already pushed. It's already had its push, we can say. Just to fill this area. Down towards a 39.48. See the 15 minute, pretty nice range there too. Pretty nice range on the 15. See this? The market loves to mirror itself. Right? Just the same way here, just the same way here, just the same way over here as well. Market loves to mirror itself. And create a bit of structure over in there, and then price came down. First trade of the day, sell on gold. The idea is price is bearish on momentum and broke the 1 hour support. Like that little accumulation break. Little break and retest. Price to move down. It's a kind of small one right here. That little liquidity grab confluence. Break above the highs, stop loss within the range, and then price to continue moving up bullish. Man, pretty big actually liquidity grab. What am I saying? This wick is huge. It filled up the range over here too. You could see it. From this area, boom, boom. Range filled. Order's been filled with this ginormous wick. But it's still funny, still respected that 8 SMA if you realize. Candlestick still closed above that 8 SMA. Respect that as nice little dynamic support. And then continue to move up. Nice little confluence there once we start breaking back above these highs. Also create a nice little inverted right over here with that volume coming in on the break. Break of the highs. And you came here, you took a sell. Pretty good. Hey, good morning, Vic. Took this beautiful buy pre-London. I remember what you said about waiting for structure to manage risk yesterday. I made the changes based on your feedback and took a dubs here. Let's have a look. See this, save that. Remove some of these lines. Let's see, entry at the break. Little breakout, boom, boom. Little bit of structure formed first. Reduce stop loss below structure. Initial stops. Yeah, I think that was a really good idea. That was a really good idea. Because let me see, where's my drawing tool? Because as soon as it broke, you're expecting volume to get through these other levels here on the left-hand side. But it kind of like gave you a hard time. You broke, consolidate, then you manage your risk. And then you see it still kind of respected this area until it didn't. So that's a perfect way. The way you manage risk here was just exactly the way you should do it. Because from this point, once this candle here closed bullish, there was no reason again to come back down here because you got enough structure, but you also got a reversal confirmation signal over here too. So it's nice that it actually played out because, you know, if it broke below those lows too, that would be a potential reversal confirmation to the downside. It's very well done. Consolidated entries, really not what you want to see moment it starts to do this, because see what happened afterwards. But yeah, came in, spiked above, awesome, then it came down. So market was kind of forgiving here. Because, you know, if it still wanted to push down, at least it gave this push up. But most of the time, you're going to see like people mismanage here and then see the push up and then maybe they can fumble the trade. They get back in or, you know, FOMO kicks in or some kind of like mismanagement can happen past that. Yeah, very well done. I took a shameful L. Let's see it. Let me see. This one right here. This was the same move. Yeah, nice. I wasn't even on the charts today. But let me see what happened. Same thing. Consolidated, break above. Yeah, you could tell, like, even that daily was what is the daily sitting at here? It was like negative something. Not a lot, right? 0.10% maybe. This is negative 0.22%. That was a nasty range. Got stuck in the consolidation too. So you also manage your risk on that as well. Very nice. Had a slightly bigger TP. But manage your risk. Then you got the break towards the lows from this accumulation I see here. Boom, stop within the range. That played out. Nice. Yeah, I think the main move was actually the sell, right? The main move. That's what the whole hullabaloo was about here. This whole consolidation was just a sell-off. That's how I said it gave me similar energy like what we saw on gold yesterday as well. Similar energy. Nice little massive head and shoulders here too. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, volume came in. Very nice pull back up. That's kind of what I would be hoping to see. Something like this. Because right now in the lower time frames, what we're actually seeing is candlesticks pulling down. Like we're seeing candles come down. Right? So I would kind of want to see like a pull back up and then something of the sort like this to move down again. And I think that's currently what we are getting, but we're going back above 0.40%, which is not exactly what I want to. It's kind of in a sticky situation. It would have been nice if it pushed down a bit more, so the pullback doesn't come back above. Because you see where the daily is going right now, could be going back to like 0.30, 0.20, and that's not really a direction. Just gonna consolidate. Been kind of consolidating since yesterday actually. If you look at it from this 5-minute perspective, you're gonna see that after this big move down here, price pulled up. Those are the Asia highs, you got Asia lows. So we're kind of just consolidating. We're not really trending anywhere. See this? Not going anywhere. So I thought maybe like price was gonna start picking up some pace to the downside. But at the same time, it's like how much does gold want to give gains away? Because if we start to break below these lows, then that weekly is gonna pull back quite a bit. And still, I don't think there's anything too much in the economy to tell us about like massive gold sells as well. Gold rally signals mounting distrust in current fiscal monetary order. The gold rally this year is increasing distrust in the existing fiscal and monetary order. The debt loads of 4 major economies, the US, UK, France, and Japan, are all over 100% of their respective GDP. Strong catalyst might continue to support gold. Yeah, we're looking at people looking at 5K. I wonder if we can hit 5K by the end of the year. Continue to support which have powered past $4,000 mark, shrugging off the dollar strength. Central banks return to buying gold in August after a brief pause in July. Gold on track for 8-week rally. Yeah, we're gonna have like another all-time high. I feel like this week it felt like every day was an all-time high. Meanwhile, the US government shutdown, now it's a second week, has delayed key data releases. Oh, you know what this is? This gonna mean that the next NFP is gonna be crazy. With all that like waiting that's been done so far. The next NFP is gonna be insane. Is there NFP today? No, it doesn't seem like it. Does not seem like we do have the NFP today. It's not on the calendar as well. Got 94.6% easing for October. So that's looking still pretty nice. December, 99.3%. Goldie is playing. That's a nasty grab in the 30. Many thoughts on the 10 a.m. news. It's my first time seeing that in Forex Factory. What, the prelim consumer sentiment? Yeah, I just kind of ignore it, you know, but I don't trade even there during this time. So, but it's something, if it's a red folder, consumer sentiment does have like some kind of effect on the market. Looks like if you get a number greater than 54.1, that's going to be bullish for the dollar. So right now we're expecting a decrease from 55.1 to 54.1. So we're expecting the dollar weakness. And if you look at the previous history over here, it does seem like getting a small little streak. Little uncertainty here, neutral, and then some couple of reds. So we might get some bearish news come out for dollar during this time. It's 2 hours into the New York session. Yeah, the moment that 8:30 a.m. hits, like that 8 a.m. candlestick opens up, that's when all them red folders come in. So I'm long gone by that time. And you know, that's the thing. We don't wanna be we don't want to just be looking at the charts the whole day, you know, because when we start a trade, we start a trade for time freedom. So, you know, like after a trade, maybe you got 1 or 2 trades, you could just go do something else, you know, spend time with the family or run some errands. You know, that's what I do. Just you know, go to the gym or do something else. But you don't really want to, you know, like we come on here from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. Eastern, and then that's it. Past that point, maybe I'll trade a bit of pre-NY for like an hour. If I don't get a setup, then, you know, it is what it is. Like, just call it a day. Because you gotta have like some kind of control over your trading, right? You can't have the market to control when you're trading. You have to control for yourself when you're trading. And it's a good psychological practice to be able to do that. You know, but I get it, as a new trader, if you're still, you know, putting in the hours, then yeah, you're probably gonna put in a lot of hours. You're probably gonna be on the chart the whole day, which again, it's not a bad thing. But when you're trading that account, you're trying to grow that specific account. That account needs to at least feel that discipline of you showing up maybe 2 or 3 hours a day, and then calling it a day. You know, that account needs to feel that. Your demo account, you know, the accounts you play with, you know, whatever. But that real account needs to feel that discipline, even if you're just going to be on the charts the whole day. There's a little break and retest. Accumulate, break, retest. Correct some of this range. They're edging the NFP data. They're cooking those numbers up for maybe next month. We're gonna have NFP. I took a sell on the spike earlier when it was moving slow. Monday I will stick to the plan. Didn't take a good L. I took a shameful L. You see all those wicks before the drop? That's my liquidity. Ah, that's your liquidity. You took a buy over here. You gave them liquidity. Will I trade today? If something interesting pops up. That's what trading is. You just come on here, you show up. 80% of it is showing up. You just show up, and you can just do that. If you can just do that, 80% of it showing up, man, that's awesome. That's awesome, because now you know if something interesting comes your way and you're not forcing any trades, then I think you're gonna have a pretty good day. Scott Besson said US deficit reduced in 2025 from 6 trillion to 5.9 trillion. Fed conference. Hey, good morning, Jay. Morning, Woods, Franco. Normally I'd be at 10 pips, but today volume is aggressive. Yeah, I've noticed since yesterday the volume has been kind of aggressive, right? I've definitely felt that with the market. They've been chopping a lot. Been a little bit aggressive. But maybe not so bad for the New York session. At least the New York moved. At least it moved somewhere. As you can see over here, nice beautiful little accumulation break, pretty straightforward. The market picked a direction and it just went down. So if you're looking for sells, then you'd have had a higher probability of winning. I'm pretty sure there's some accumulation breaks in here somewhere too. There's a massive one right here though, right for the London close. Pretty obvious. Boom, break of the lows and then distribute down. The only problem is if you're looking for a buy, you would have had a less probability to catch one of these, let's say kind of dips. Oh, but they got a nice one within the range over here. That one got filled up beautifully. This one gave a small push, but wasn't able to manage. Instead, it came down. That was a nice little breakout here too. But definitely interesting movements though. I don't even know how you can explain it. I guess it's more of a intuition, like a feeling. When you come onto the charts, every day is slightly, every day gives you a different type of aura. Gold. Today it seems kind of uncertain. What can we expect? Because remember, we're just down 0.40. Now we're up 0.20%. Now we're still down, but 0.20% from negative 0.40. So you see, it's kind of still neutral. So sure, you can get some moves within these ranges and stuff, but you're not really getting any more conviction past these short-term pushes. How long does it take to get a stop step certificate? Oh, I don't know. Let's see over here. Bullish move up. Entries, break of the lows. Initial stops, clean range. I would have waited for this wick to get broken. Personally, if anything, this wick right over here. It's kind of annoying because it got this really large wick, but I think we could ignore that and then just use that structure here. Wait for these wicks. See, it's a pretty even area too. It's like pretty even. It's like would give more confluence for the break. You broke, looks like broke, and then pulled back up. Then continued moving down. So yeah, that wick would have been the safest wick. Because here is still a support, right? You could have come here. That could have been a liquidity grab to continue moving up bullish. It's hard to explain because we all don't know what the market is going to do, bro. Yeah, we just gotta wait now. Because, you know, you're gonna spend a lot of time like speculating and guessing what the market's gonna do, and, you know, there's no point. Why don't you save some of that capacity, that mental energy on doing nothing and just watching? You know, sometimes you just gotta watch. It's like when a lion is just chilling out there in the savannah. You know, he's kind of hungry. He's looking for something to eat, but, you know, he can't spend the whole day just like, you know, worrying and speculating, oh, when is this gazelle gonna come around? And, you know, it doesn't do that. The lion just sits there peacefully and patiently, and, you know, he waits for something to change. He's gonna like feel the wind and feel the temperatures and just listen. You know, you're just gonna listen, wait for something to change. So that's what you gotta do. Now we're getting like a nice little pullback though. A break and retest. Action. Where are we even heading? Let's see on the hourly. Okay, now I see where the trouble is. We got some support areas down over here. We got higher time frame support levels. This is gonna be a very difficult situation for price now. You know, this is gonna be a very difficult situation for price now, because if it moves down, it's really committing to move down, and it's a pretty big push down there too. But at the same time, we don't see a reason as to why gold should lose value, as you know, gold has just been going up, and it's still predominantly bullish as well, right? So yeah, I think this sell idea here is going to be very sticky. You want to see price really commit to that downside push before anything. For me, the buys look a little bit more straightforward. Like if you just get that daily flip, start breaking above this resistance, and then fill this range on the 4-hour, that looks a lot nicer to me than this thing trying to fight the lows. So you can see it's ranging. Sprinting around looking for something to hunt. Gonna burn out. Gonna burn out when the real chase begins. The real chase will begin when price starts to move. You know, it was like, check this out. Like yesterday, you know, like price didn't do anything, right? It didn't do anything. It just consolidated for the most part. And then you see this, now the volume started coming back in. Now the real chase was on at this point. And that's what everybody's chasing. So you don't want to also burn out within this area. When things are a little bit unclear, when there's no movement, you know, you're going to burn out here. And this is when the experienced lions come in. They're like, it's time, Mufasa. It's time to go on the hunt. Because, you know, they're experienced. Been living a longer time, so they kind of know the way of the jungle. They know how things operate, when things operate, the time of the day when things are more likely to get interesting. You know, and that just comes with experience as well. So, yeah, this is kind of what we're... kind of like what we would like to see happen. But right now, there's like nothing. Still a bit slow here. No, not worth the king of the jungle's time, this is. I tell you that much. My great-grandpa said gold and silver will always hold its value. He was a boomer. Oh, nice. Yeah, I know it's true. Gold and silver will always hold its value. Especially with people losing confidence in central banks. It will definitely always be a safe haven. It'll always go up. That I can say with a 95% certainty. That it will always go up. It's the only store of value that we can do as well. You know, like if people want to store value, you're gonna store it in gold or silver. Dollar strengthening. $0.24. It's really just 0.24 just basically means nothing. I mean, at least it gave these sellers here a good play to the downside. That's the only move that I see that's actually played out here. You got point A, point B, a little bit of profit taking. That's pulling back up again. It's probably retesting these previous sellers too. Maybe they might see some re-entries and then price to continue moving down. Oh, it's the only move since the whole pre-London session time as well. And that happened right at, look at this, London Open. Exactly at London Open, you got volume come in. But you see, that was just a London Open volume. So it doesn't necessarily mean now we stop moving down, right? I think that was just a reaction to that time. Let's see, currency strength meter. We got a weak dollar. Also kind of weak gold. GJ, what's GJ doing? They both look weak. Maybe GJ is consolidating as well. 0.18. Damn, GJ's been moving though. Holy. GJ's woken up here. Imagine that, chat. Like towards the end of the year, GJ decided to wake up. Sleeping all year. Let's see what GG is trying to do. Pulling down quite heavy. But we had a bull run recently. Reckon it could be coming back to fill that range? Massive market open gap over there. Create a resistance. I don't think so. I feel like it's a pretty big push down. It's most likely just going to break above resistance and keep moving up. Because there's a reason why it's moving up like this. There you got some macro fundamentals shift. I think price can start moving again. Let's see, hourly. Filling up that range on the hourly too. From this region. Took a little pause over here. Maybe a small little break and a retest. Came down, another break and a retest. To push down towards that support. So that's GJ. Maybe another break and a retest here. Kind of see a bit more with detail. Like this, boom, boom. Coming down, checking this support out. Maybe potentially to keep heading down. See on the 5-minute. Daily is bearish, of course. You know, you're moving with the daily candle if you're looking for sells. It's accumulating, it's breaking out. It seems like this could be a nice play here, actually. Little 23 pip range to the downside. Little reversal confirmation signal in there too to calm down, because it's giving these buyers here a hard time. Broke above and then get stuck in consolidation. Basically, you know, just basically like these charts. It like broke above a resistance and then accumulated. It consolidated. And we all know what that means. You know, that means that price maybe is going to give you some chance to manage your risk. And I think the best option is usually to take that option to manage your risk. So at this point, it just gave them a chance to manage their risk. GJ. So, and it also gave a confirmation to the downside. So I think that's what GJ might be trying to do, especially with the daily being bearish, and especially with what we see, not what we feel. We can see the candles have been predominantly like moving down here as well, kind of sloping downwards. So yeah, I still think a sell idea would still hold more confluence at this point. Whereas Goldie, yeah, it's trying to chop up a bit as well. You can see how it's like forming a lot of wicks there. It's accumulating too. It's about to have a move from this area. It's created a point A. It's about to distribute somewhere too here. This little generation of wicks. Starting to form loads of wicks. Little bit of wicks. It might be trying to whip this guys actually. These sellers over here, because you know, buyers make money, sellers make money, pigs get slaughtered, right? So if these sellers here are still being greedy, expecting this thing to completely nut, I think that could be like some kind of a warning sign right here that's accumulating so close to these highs. Because once it starts to break, this thing could probably be off to the races. Could be off to the races, the move up. One minute looking amazing. See what it does. Let's see if it gives a zero drawdown push from here. There's no direction. That's the only thing that's missing. It's just the flow. Is that the break you would take? Yeah, I would take this break if it pushed down a bit more. That's actually what I wanted to see, right? But it pulled up like quite significantly. The most ideal would have been if it continued to push down and then gave me this like somewhere around here like this to keep moving down. But you see, it's given me it back all the way up over here. So for me, this whole zone, this whole area, let's draw like red. This kind of whole area over here is kind of like a no direction type of structure. Because we haven't moved anywhere from the, I guess, from the pre-London. Not looking for long. Not looking for long either. The daily is bearish right now. If there's one thing I've learned about the London session this year, is if London is not showing direction, just stay away. Just stay away from it. That's what I've been doing for a London session, and I think it's been pretty good. So you just stay away from it. It's not showing you direction. It's quite been an interesting year for London. I always feel like every year we have like some kind of a new character. Below 4K now, how long will that last? That is the question. As price starts to pull up here, we might even see a bumper clot. Bumper clot! Might see a bumper clot. Here comes a bumper clot. Zero drawdown. Can we keep flying? The fib on the clear range. It's got some bit of heavy lifting here. Got 5-minute resistance. But you know, the whole idea behind when price does something like this, the whole idea is so it can disrespect these levels are eventually meant to get broken. You know, they eventually, so when it does something like this, it's kind of like putting some ammunition in the weapon, you know, so it has enough pellets over here that it can get through this barrier, you know. It's like a shotgun. Reload that shotgun and then spray that wall. Gotta break that wall. Because otherwise, if you know, the thing is like, otherwise there's no trade idea of the 5-minute time frame until maybe price breaks above that resistance. You know, and this whole range is like 25 pips. Otherwise, then there's no trade idea. So you have to base your trade off just pure volume that price can actually break that resistance over there. And the only way you're going to find that volume is not by using an indicator, it's just by using your eyes, right? Using your eyes in the lower time frame and seeing like what kind of a structure builds whenever price usually breaks support and resistance levels. What is that structure that's built? Because you know the market moves based off structure. Imagine if you came onto the chart one day and like all you see on the chart is just like boom, one single candlestick like that. You know, it also doesn't make sense. The market loves to have structure. So even if you get a candlestick like that, it's going to say, hey, hold up, we got to go back down here because, you know, this is looking a bit weird. It's looking a bit awkward. So, you know, it might fill some ranges and then you're going to build some more structure and then it'll just continue to move up like this. But you're never going to go on a chart unless it's a meme coin and just see just one candlestick's doing this. You know, it creates a lot of imbalance, a lot of volatility. So the market, it loves structure. And that's what you got to see is like, what structure do you form whenever key things are happening? Distributions, breakouts, break of key levels such as this on the 5-minute time frame. And all you got to do is investigate, man. Just investigate all the time frames and then you got to make sense of it. Because, you know, before I started trading the 1 minute, I used to wonder like, how could I have taken a buy over here? You know, what makes sense that's happening over and over and over and over again? You know, how could I have taken a buy over here? You're not going to see it. Maybe you're not going to see some consistency on the 5-minute, but you're going to see it in a lower time frame. So you gotta wait and see now. 5-minute candle just closed below resistance. How much did that push? Oh, almost 20 points from that wick break. I don't get why you don't have views. Could be that you don't set the age limit. Usually when you set the age limit, it even makes it harder for YouTube to recommend. So I just leave it open. But I don't know. Things just take time. That's all that is things just take time. But if you want to have like a quick growth on social media, like a really quick growth, there are definitely strategies to doing that. But it comes with a lack of integrity. At that point, it's just kind of like manipulation tactics. You know, if you show a nice car or, you know, pay a really nice editor to edit some crazy ass video for you, there's a recipe to it, 100%. But you see, when I started this channel, I said, you know, I'm just going to post. I'm just going to post what I want to post. And, you know, if people find value in that, then it will just be like organic. Correct? So I'm not going to like try and fit this trader lifestyle thing where like these accounts have so many followers just because they show a nice car or something, you know, then it's just becoming like basically an influencer. I was like, hey, if I'm going to be trading anyway, you know, might as well just do this and share some value with some integrity and no manipulation. But you see over here, this is now distribution from this region, correct? So now it's like heading up there. And the good thing is it's breaking above that 5-minute resistance as well. So this is going to be the next kind of a point in time where, you know, price can just keep moving up here to fill this range. Because you see, sometimes you can't wait for candlestick to close, right? Sometimes the market will just not give you an option. Like price will just keep pushing up. You know, it closes right below here. Then you're like, dang, I was waiting for that closure at least, right? And then it doesn't close, and then, you know, it moves up. And you see, at this point it's already too late because it's within a range. So that range has already been filled up. And, you know, sometimes it's much more. Oh, look at this.
Why are you running?
Why are you running, Goldie? Oh, lay bumperclut. Wasn't a complete zero drawdown trade, but, you know, it's still pretty decent. Just got one bearish candle, break, a retest, and then moved up. So that's what I always used to think. How can I catch this move? You know, why and how did price move up like this? Because when I used to wait for like a candlestick to close, let's say a resistance point like this, it would sometimes do this. And then I'll be like, damn, it's already filled the range. So that's when you start getting into like some kind of like impulse entries. But you know, what does an impulse entry mean to you? Right? For me, an impulse entry still means that we need some kind of a structure. Right? And this is the type of structure that I look, because this is where volume typically comes out from. So it makes a pretty good impulsive entry. But you gotta watch that. You gotta watch that for a few months. It took me quite a few months of like, it took me a while to actually understand that. It took me a really long time. It took me about like, what can I say? It was more towards the tail end of all my trading education that I started looking at these kinds of entries. And that's when I started breaking out from the break-even phase. Or like, it was more like losing, break-even-ish phase. Then looking, okay, because gold moves so quickly. If I could just catch these moves without always waiting and getting in later, then I think, you know, because my analysis was right most of the time, it was like, then I think I can have a much better P&L. You know, because gold just kept moving without me, and I would end up taking like the later entries. Closure off the range is better probability generally. Yeah, closure of the range, it does add into the probabilities. But you know, the market has a sense of humor here. So sometimes it can just do this basically to scare people out of the market, say, because if it closes above, more people will get involved, right? But if it does this, less people are going to get involved. Less people are more likely to take those types of trades for XY reasons, right? So sometimes it kind of does this little thing over here. Because all that builds up, and the market knows this. You know, the more you see something like that happen, that frustration builds up, and the market's been around for such a long time. It's very intelligent. So it truly understands the way the human mind operates. You know, and I think it's like once you've been trading for a while, you kind of move much better with the market, right? We call kind of like start to understand these moves, because also at the same time, if you're looking at profitable trades, and people who are taking profitable trades are all getting in at relatively, you know, the same entries, right? Because the market only has these moves like every now and then. Right now it's in a distribution that's got to have to set up again. So profitable traders are relatively getting in the same areas, right? So it's like over time, you're going to see like we just get better at flowing with the market. It could be for XY reasons, depending on how you trade. It's quite a dynamic approach trading, actually. Some people like this little push to the downside, FEGs, Fibonacci's, rocket science. It's kind of interesting. Different psychology from how I would execute something like this here. Because you're taking buys as price is coming down to move up. I didn't like that system. I found that system very difficult. I'd rather just wait and see what are we doing at this very moment and what can we do on this hourly candlestick, or but in this case the next hourly candlestick. You see guys, we are 2 minutes 50 seconds for this one to close. Nice little liquidity grabs below here. I do think like price can move up, especially break above this 4 hour. We got a 4 hour, you see it has doji. Look at this massive 4 hour pull up, break above 4 hour resistance, and then keep moving up over there. That's why I think the daily would look pretty nice. Got some nice rejection wicks in there too. Right now it's in it. Ooh, why are you running? Beautiful. Right now it's still this. You see this? Look at this. Look at this. So beautiful. You know, how can you make sense of these moves? How can you make sense of these moves? That's the question. How can you make sense of these moves? Why is it that when we take these trades, that price moves the way it moves? You know, because this is part of what I need to see for my strategy, right? This is the reaction that I need to see for my strategy. I know it's funny saying this because a lot of people obviously need to see a similar reaction, correct? But for me, this is what I need to see. Because if the market gives me a hard time, I already know, man, this is gonna be a difficult one. If it's not a bumbaclat or if it's not a good push, then it might give me like quite a challenge there. So you're gonna know the answer to that pretty fast. See this, when we take our entries, why does it move like this? You know, in this situation, very tricky trade because it's not trending on the daily. So you're really just dependent on the fact that the previous sellers had already gotten in. And that's why I said buyers make money, sellers make money, pigs get slaughtered. Because price is not really heading anywhere. So the whole idea here was like this previous sellers got in and price pushed down and then comes all the way back up. You see now they're just being greedy because this is already a pretty nice move that filled most of the range. So this was the warning sign. That's why I said the market's going to give you a warning sign. It's going to tell you, hey buddy, I know you thought I was going to go down a bit more, but that's not going to happen. So I'm going to give you one last chance here to get out. Right? That's why I say, oh, it's good to take that insurance. Because that's when the buyers are going to be coming in. So you might as well just take that insurance. Even though you get stopped out and it goes in your direction, take that insurance. You know, because you're going to see like if you take 100 trades, maybe that's going to happen like 70 times. You know, 70 times. So it's still pretty good probability. Yeah, not her. Sorry. I know it's a bit confusing here.
We don't do that here.
If you're thinking we're going to be talking about FEGs, if you're new to the stream, we don't do that here. So this is going to take you some unlearning to relearn some concepts, some very important concepts about the market. Because you have missed, if you've just jumped onto that bandwagon of that style of trading, you have missed the core ingredients of trading, which is actually learning how to read candlesticks. Because now you've jumped into a system that's all made up, you know, these inducements and these complicated words and trying to be smart money or, you know, trying to play God. That's basically what they're doing. They're just trying to play God by disguising themselves in this smart money concepts thing. But all retail traders are dumb money. Don't get it twisted. There's no single person on YouTube you're watching that's going to be teaching you like genuine smart money. I really don't believe it. And the people who are teaching that, you're going to pay thousands of dollars because these people probably worked at these institutions and, you know, at this point, they're pretty well established. Maybe they're most likely in their 40s and, you know, they're going to be charging you thousands of dollars. And you're also going to be needing to make some investments as well beyond that point. So yeah, for the most part, we're all dumb money. And I think, you know, the sooner you you realize that, the better your bank account's gonna feel, the better your trading is gonna feel, and the more stress-free the experience becomes, right? Because look at this, to catch a move like this, was there anything complicated about this, chat? The only thing that was complicated here, I would say, was just the psychology of it, because like price is not trending anywhere. But the concept, the context is quite straightforward. It's there, it's present, and it was all about like just taking the risk if you wanted to take that trade. Because it's not much different from what happened over here, that happening over here, right? Same distribution downwards, same distribution upwards. Context slightly changes here because of what we explained of the range getting filled up and, you know, the sellers being done already and market giving you a kind of like a warning sign. And, you know, context is just slightly a bit different, but the concept remains the same. Because if it wanted to move down, it would have broken these lows. It would not have broken the highs. Crazy, from -50 to nearly daily flip. Gold is cooking something. Yes. Oh yeah, we did hit -55. True. That's why I meant, like, if we can't respect that -40 barrier, then price will, you know, we don't know what price is gonna do, because now we've reflipped on the daily. It's looking to, oh man, that could become a nasty runner. But this is looking to break above resistance. Here, massive pullback. See a little commitment to push up, because barely a top wick on this 4 hour too. Look at that, barely a top wick, but look at this chode of a bearish wick over there. Oh, look at this, nice creating the top wick. You know, it's simple. Simple concepts that just require, you know, repetition, and psychology is very important, because like any system that you overtrade is going to become a losing system. It's just the way it is. The more you're in the market, you're actually not in the market to make money. You're just giving the market more opportunities to take your money, right? So it's not like you're going to milk the market. You're actually playing with the sharks. So you're like a tuna fish who's playing with the shark. You know, if you keep poking the bear too much, you know, one day that bear is just going to wake up. It's going to discipline you. You can't poke the bear too much. You gotta poke it like 1 or 2 times a day. You know, you poke it 1 or 2 times a day, maybe 1 or 3 times a day, it's more forgiving, right? But if you keep poking at it, then it's gonna take everything away. It's gonna take the account. You want to poke the bear. Especially when it's trying to sleep. This would be like a sleeping bear here. When you know that price is super rangy. See on the 5 minute, similar situation like what happened yesterday during this was during pre-London, and you got like London Open, and you see this is like the bear rolling around in this bed, right? So you don't want to try and poke the bear when it's just sleeping, because then you're just going to not have any direction. There you see, then it starts to wake up here. $15-minute has clean range. May I know what strategy you're using? It's TFX concepts. But it's for simplicity, it's just accumulation breakouts. But I think like people kind of look at them differently. Accumulation breakouts. 100% what you're learning here, I'm sure if you go on YouTube and look for accumulation breakout videos, and the context behind how we take our positions, you're going to find that it's very unique. Because there's no way that you're going to... Or maybe, I don't know. Because, you know, I kind of just made it up. I didn't learn it from anywhere, but I don't know. Maybe if you go on YouTube, like a deep search, you might see some similarities, but I don't know. This was just based from watching candles, you know, because the more you show up to something and the more you actually just like, you know, hang out and see how it goes, you start to notice certain things, right? You start to notice certain things. You know, 80% of people can't even They've even find it a hard time showing up. So you're gonna beat 80% of people if you show up. Then all that's left is for you to now deal with the 20% of people. You know, the 20% of people, that's the most difficult people you're gonna have to deal with now. But the easy part is just showing up, training your eyes to see the same thing over and over again, and operating from a point of clarity, not a point of need. Because I feel like a lot of us, man, sometimes we need something from the market, right? We come into the chart with this mentality of, oh, I need a certain amount of pips, some kind of monetary gain. You can't just, or want. Let me just say want. You want something every time you come onto the chart. You know, when you go to bed at night and you're praying to God, you're gonna ask God for what you want, but at the end of the prayer, you gotta ask Him at the same time for what you need, because you know what you want is gonna be different from what God thinks you need, right? So you know, when you come into the charts with all of these wants, you also gotta remember what you actually need, right? What you need is patience, discipline, confidence, consistency in your approach. That's what you need. You want a winning trade, but you don't need a winning trade. But man, look at this. Still moving up here. How many pips is already done? It's like 135. I took my account 3 weeks ago with 500 euro. I'm up 1,500. As of today, I haven't took a trade today. Amazing. Let's go. You know, it took me like, it took me almost a year to even see that type of profit. I was trading mainly a $500 account. I never saw that type of gains in my account. Like it took me like basically like a whole year, you know, to really start getting consistent, which is kind of wild. Like a lot of y'all have this really nice luck in the market. Like people come to me and they say, oh, they managed to flip this account. Man, that never happened to me. But I also think because my risk was pretty low. I was risking like 1% a trade. At some point I was risking 0.5% a trade. But I never had the experience. The most expensive thing that I bought was an ice cream. On any time that I was quote unquote profitable as a beginner trader. That was all that I could afford to buy, was an ice cream. Until I really became profitable. So, you know, very well done. If you have made 1,500 from 500, men, withdraw that money. Withdraw that money. You know, because the last thing you want to do is say, oh man, you know, it's up so much and I was still learning to trade and you gave it back. So you're going to withdraw that money and enjoy that money. Withdraw like $1,000. Don't get any crazy ideas now that you can take that to 5,000 to 10,000. Man, if you don't have data and sample sizing and some kind of, if you haven't been profitable, let's say for at least 2 to 3 months, if you haven't proven to yourself that system for like 2 to 3 months, the best thing you can do right now is withdraw 1,000 and just keep trading, you know, but don't blow that account because you are very lucky, my friend. Also, the market conditions have been very nice to you because gold has been moving like crazy this year. So I'm just giving you a heads up. It's been an amazing year. I'm sure a lot of people made money this year. Question is, can you replicate that next year? Or when we're done with this interest rates? We got 2 more interest rates, so we're expecting more of a bull run. At least up until the first quarter of next year. That's why I think that gold is gonna stay relatively the same up until the end of the Q1. But just insane. Holy. Look at this freaking Eiffel Tower over here. There's 16 pip stop on this. Would have still survived a 16 pip stop. pretty nice. Hey, Leon. Good morning, good morning. Guten Morgen. Dobry utra. Why didn't you take that range? Why didn't you take that long range to the upside? I got 50 points for this move. Oh, man, look at that 4 hour. How much are we up right now? 0.30% already. Yeah, I got some pretty nice range on the hourly here. That 5-minute range was already filled. 30-minute. Oh, you also got 30-minute range from here to here. Let's see that on the 15. Lines up with the 15 as well. Really nice. 5-minute was, I think those, oh yeah, those actually, damn, I didn't even see this. I was still thinking about everything that was happening down over here. Yeah, that was another range to fill. That was about like 63 pips. This time the candlestick did break above it properly. Like a little bit of a shotgun play. A little bit of a shotgun play over here. Broke above, bottom wick. Too big of a stop. Maybe you could like adjust that based off of volume coming in. But price moved. Filled the range. Just the way it filled this range. It's now filled this range up over here. Yeah, very well done if you did end up catching something there. If I give you my strat, you will be flipping like crazy. Alright, give it to us. Send it here on Discord. Send it on Discord. Proper Freaky Friday. From negative 55 to plus 30. It took me 4 years. It's crazy hearing people say anything less than a year or two. Yes. It's because of information, you know, like people nowadays are a lot smarter than they were back in the days because they're always like having access to information nowadays, you know. So people are able to learn a lot faster. Ooh, Vic. Mate, I learned the breakout of you. Took now 3 times long on the breakout. Made 1%. I'm now at 8% of my challenge. Beautiful. Yeah, if you got a profitable day today, you know, you're part of the 5%. Let's just say 5% of people who are profitable. So, you know, you don't want to come out of this statistic by overtrading. You know, you want to sit here. You want to sit here. You gotta enjoy the seat at the table. Especially on a Freaky Friday, you know. Freaky Fridays. We might, but we haven't really had a good Freaky Friday in a while, chat. Like, I'm kind of hoping today, Freaky Friday, we can at least see some bullish exuberance. If this is how we're starting already, this is a pretty good sign. So you see, like when you track this, right? You track this to where it made sense to take a position. You're gonna end up down over here at the inception. Right? You're gonna end up down over here at the inception. Then price move up. Let's see on the 15. Still got another range over here to fill. Broke this 5-minute. Got another 5-minute. Just straight distribution. Let's see how the hourly is. Pretty big hourly candle. Moved up already like 200 pips. Really need to get that new hourly open. Because this feels like quite overextended. Remember, the market likes structure. So you see something like this, it would like to come back down to create a bit more structure. Like how to win again, one till April this year, 75% win rate, and then started the job and lost every month so far. maybe reduce the amount of trades that you're taking, because maybe with a new job, it's also kind of, you know, affecting some kind of flow state that you might be having in the market. So just reduce the amount of trades that you're taking, you know, and only focus on the really good ones. And you're going to know what those are. Intuitively, we all know what the really good ones are. Have you ever read the book Trading for a Living? Yeah. Alexander Elder? Yeah, I read the audiobook. Or I heard the audiobook. I binge listened to all those books that I could find on trading on Audible. The whole day was just Audible. Crashing out in the middle of the day, you know, just cause so tired. You fall asleep to Audible. Man, I had a shit diet as well. A lot of sugar. I used to eat a lot of sugar. I used to crash. And that was it. Like, wake up in the morning, go to work, listening to trading books. Trading books. Man, it's an endeavor. It's an endeavor and a half. Holy. It's like something I never want to go back and do. Like, it was great at the moment, like when you look back at it, but I don't want to go back to that point in my life again. Because trading can be quite overwhelming in the beginning, right? Because you have to like learn so much stuff. Or you feel like you gotta learn so much stuff. Because you feel like the more you learn, the more money you make. And then you find this thing called smart money concepts. And then you're like, this is it. Because now this is feeling me like I'm learning so much here. Surely this is gonna make me money. Correct? That's when you get hooked onto that. So you gotta be careful about that. I'm not saying that, you know, you should stop learning. I feel like you should always keep learning, but if it's overwhelming you, I'm sure there's a better way to do things more efficiently. You know, what works for somebody else doesn't necessarily work for you. You know what I mean? Like for example, when I was like learning how to budget my money, I watched these YouTube videos from like these previous investment bankers, and they had all these formulas and Excel spreadsheets, but it's like, man, I can't do that. This for me, it just doesn't fit my mental model of doing things. So I needed to find a way where I could still use a similar approach, but kind of gamify it in a way which is like my own. Right? And that's where you're going to stick to it a bit better. So, you know, trading is kind of the same thing. You're going to learn the concepts, and then you gotta have to make it like somehow your own to fit your mentality. Checking 1, 2. Is it just me or anybody else can hear? I think it's just you. Let's see. Extremers typing. Ricardo's typing. Can you hear fine? Nice. Looking for longs now. The best, you know, like the best would be if this hourly candlestick honestly closed. It's like 39 minutes. Because it's such a huge candle, it's already moved up 200 pips. Because for price to keep moving up, we need to break into a new hourly candlestick. You know, like theoretically, we could still push extra 42 pips. But just when we're talking about the trades which just really feel good to us, we need a new hourly, because right now it's only plus 0.30%. By the time we hit 0.40%, it probably would have cleared already like 20 pips. So that's more towards, you're catching more towards the tail end of this hourly push. You see this hourly candle, you're trying to catch an hourly candle. Each hour, you got an option to catch an hourly candlestick. Right, so if you see the way this one's moved, what's the probability that we get here and then keep moving up? You know, we all know this. We all know this. Even if I take a buy now, I'm sure the chat is gonna know or feel a certain way about the fact that price has already moved up, correct? Because it's like your gut feeling, you know, you gotta listen to that gut feeling. I like the trading book personally, keeps me grounded and gives me a ton of insight. Also, like Tetra, I would not want to go back to those days of driving to work listening to audiobooks. If close of 1 to 30 minute off the 1 hour is greater than the second 30 minute, use VPR on the full 1 hour. Find high volume areas to look for positions above 50% of the hourly candle. Yeah, trading books kind of help. They definitely give you like some good psychology, right? Some good psychology. So it helps to an extent. What basically it's doing, it's opening the doors to, you know, conversations maybe you don't typically have with yourself. That's what happens when you read a lot, when you seek a lot of information. You start to open doors to those types of conversations. So I think that's the important thing about that. Because it helps you now, like, for example, if you're not good at managing your risk, it's good that you can get introduced to managing risk. It opens a conversation of managing risk. So if you know these things called the magic keys, right? Before trading, I was not really into managing risk necessarily, like so dynamically. So what that device did, it introduced that topic of the possibility of me being able to do a dynamic risk, you know, and through that, I think you can open new doors and perspective. But in terms of it being like, you know, giving you a aha moment and that sort of thing, I don't really think necessarily. I think most of your aha moments are just going to come from actually doing something, you know. Yeah, just putting in that work, being practical with it. Just not sitting on the sidelines expecting the universe to give you something like so easily. It comes from actually doing things. Most of the time, execution is what you need to do. Even if you got like an idea that's not fully formed, just freaking do it. Put it out into the universe. You're going to learn something from it. So next time you do it again, you're going to get better. But if you sit on ideas too much, it's like you tell people, you know, people have a very bad habit of like telling people also what they're going to do. Because when they tell people what they're going to do, it releases like this feeling in your mind that you've already achieved that thing you set out to do. But now, since you've done that, you're not going to feel as motivated to do it anymore. You know, it happens with people who say, oh, I'm working out. I'm going to start working out. I'm going to lose weight. They start telling people, I'm going to lose weight. You know, I'm going to go to the gym. It's like, yeah. Sure thing. That's the thing. It's like every time I can tell you, somebody also message me saying, hey, bro, I want to join your course. I know who's not going to join the course, because the whole idea is you want to feel like you've already done it. Right? So you kind of like tricking yourself. You know, the brain is not your friend necessarily. The brain uses defense mechanisms. You know, when you want to go to the gym, it tells you, oh, you know, we could relax a bit. We could go to the gym tomorrow. It's no big deal. It's pretty comfortable right now. I feel pretty weak right now. But trust me, if you actually push through that feeling, you're going to be surprised on the days that you didn't want a gym, for example, that you actually did it. Right? Because the brain is designed in a way like this. So you got to be very clinical when it comes to your trading approach and see what your downfalls are, because everybody has different demons, right? There's no one size fit all. Everyone has like a different challenge. Maybe some people are overly ambitious. Some people are not ambitious enough. I use magic keys, but not the keyboard. The digital version, I installed it. I think the digital one's actually even better. It's more efficient. I installed it last night to test it, and it helps with BE and partials. Yep. It definitely does like its job. Its job is to introduce that idea into your head. And that's the whole idea behind courses as well. People take courses expecting to become millionaires, but that's not necessarily how it works. Real life doesn't work like that. You know, you have to put the work in, right? You have to look at this and see, what value am I getting from this? Is it fitting my character of how I also see the market? Is there something I can take with me along the journey? And then you're always learning. Like, life is a endless learning opportunity for you. I think that's what it is. I never took a course that made me profitable overnight, but all that knowledge compounded to it. That's how I look at it. And every time I make an investment, that's how I approach things. You know, it's like, this is going to compound onto my knowledge, and it's going to get me that much closer to it. Imagine if I told you right now you're 6 months away from the life that you've always dreamed about. But within this duration, you have to do what your previous self never did, right? Be it investing more in yourself, be it showing up more to the charts. If you knew 100% guarantee your dream life was 6 months away from you, I bet you top dollar you will take all that risk, and your psychology towards it will just operate differently. You know, you're going to be more willing to actually execute, actually learn, you know, rather than what you've been doing previously. And that's where now, for me, the audiobooks came in, right? That's when I started cultivating that mindset, because I didn't have a family of entrepreneurs or, like, you know, this type of business oriented mindset that can give me that type of value. So what audiobooks did for me was open the doors to that kind of thinking, because most of us are raised in, you know, families where maybe we're not getting that much financial advice or business advice, that kind of like mindset that's given to us. And, you know, that's why they have that book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. You know, basically that's what it is. So I think that's how you got to approach audiobooks. That's how you got to approach magic keys. If you got the magic keys now, that's how you're going to approach courses. And guess what? That's how you're going to approach life too. This thing looks like it's definitely cooking something here as well. You're getting a little bit wicky. That's why I said it's much better if we can get the new hourly candlestick open up. There's a massive range down over here. This 140 pips. It's like, it's taking a small break. It's like a runner. I think of the market like, you know, Usain Bolt. And Usain Bolt runs, he sprints, and then, you know, he's got to take a pause. He's got to rest a little bit, and then he's going to sprint again. That's how the market is. See, it just had its little pace over here. Now it's got to take a pause. Someone can have a 40% win rate and be profitable. Yeah, that's true. Does win rate matter? Oh yeah, this win rate doesn't really matter. What matters the most is how you manage your risk. Because you can have like a 20 win streak, but what happens if one loss is equivalent to 10 trades? Then what does that mean? So risk management matters more than win rate. I love trading books. Honestly, gives me grounding, gives me tons of insight. Yep. Good thing is you don't also just have to read trading books. You can read like other types of books too. There's a lot of value in those too. I've never read the Bible in my life, so I've started reading like audiobook. I started listening to an audiobook about the Bible. And I want to see what kind of a value that can give me. And then I'm going to read an audiobook of the Quran. And then I'm going to listen to an audiobook of maybe like Hinduism, Buddhism, you know? And then just to see like what kind of a value that can give me. Because, you know, when it comes to like religion, it's also very political. So for me, I believe there's value in all religion. And then you can see like, you know, like the Quran is basically The Bible is the cousin of the Quran, you know. So I think religions, they kind of like work together. But I'm naturally Christian. I grew up Christian. But I never read the Bible. But I'm sure there's a lot of value in there. Especially when you have a certain goal you're trying to achieve in life, you're always going to relate that to what that is. So if it's trading or business, you're always going to see from a different angle. Look at this thing now. We got like the new 30-minute candlestick open up here. Nice little accumulation. Ooh, that's forming beautifully. So this nice one, perfect setup if it fakes the lows. See this? What's going on? This is silver. Look at silver is running for someone. Yeah, this is distributing. Holy nice. You're looking for a trade today, 5% profit today. I think I'm down for the day. Just looking at the market for now. Yeah, I'm just looking at the market here as well. Unless something like really interesting comes my way. I'm not really looking at the chart. I'm not really looking to execute right now. It's still up like 0.30%. Maybe we just keep pushing up a bit more, get the new hourly open, form something like this again, then I'm going to take a buy. But for now, I'm just like, you know, just watching the market, seeing if anything can come to me. Not that I have to go to it. Because right now I have to go to it if I want to find a trade. I will have to go to it. There's a huge difference. Yes, we could catch a trade. But I prefer if it comes to me. You know, because I'm that experienced lion in the savannah, right? Like, I know I could go out there and maybe I can catch something. But, you know, I know at the same time that same thing can just come to me. From your analysis, where can be the gold market heading to? But you see, like a new lion will not know this. So for them, it feels like more they're missing out, or they have to always like go for the kill. You don't have to always go for the kill. The day is going to be full of potential. You know, if it's not full of potential, guess what? It's not full of potential only for you. It's not full of potential for everybody else. Because there's a certain way that the market moves when there's a lot of potential. And you know, the more mature you get as a lion, also you're gonna stop taking so many trades. You know, you're gonna currently right now I'm taking a ton of trades. In a month I'm taking like 35 45 trades in a month, right? So the more mature you get, you're gonna find your numbers are gonna start to dwindle a bit more, right? Because maybe your account is growing, or you don't see the need to trade as much. See, like in July, we took like, how many trades was this? Like 51 trades. I took 51 trades, guys. That's a lot. For me, I think the time doesn't matter. Trading depends more on your personality, patience, risk management, discipline, emotional control. Yeah, definitely. That's why some people learn it so much faster, because they kind of a bit of gifted in those areas. Those are core values to have, even just in general. In my early days, I lost 25k USD, no kidding. In one Asia session, I kept moving my SL and it was crazy stubborn. I knew I was right. Never move your SL because we don't actually know. Be humble. Yeah, never move your SL. Like, imagine yesterday if someone took a buy on gold, right? And look at the way gold here moved. It just moved straight down. Imagine you just kept moving your SL, right? And you take like a buy wherever you took a buy, and then you just kept moving the stop loss. Like you were not planning for a 7. Let's say if you took a buy here, you would not be planning for a 700 pip drawdown, right? Maybe your stop loss is less than that. Maybe it's like 91 pips. You would not be planning for this. This is definitely a account killer. So it's true. You must always approach the market like very cynically, carefully. Don't test it. That's why I say take your insurance. If it tells you something here is going wrong, then most likely it is. If you feel that something is going wrong with your trade, most of the time you're correct. The problem is we don't do anything. We're just gonna sit there like sitting duck. We know our stop loss is gonna hit, but we don't do anything. You know, it gets to a point where it's just like, just blow the account. So yeah, we gotta be very careful. So this nice, this one, perfect setup. So nice, so nice. I would love this. This looks for me like a zero drawdown type of trade. Especially this volume coming in like this. I've already seen the volume coming in. Few missing ingredients, but definitely structurally speaking, looks beautiful. Hey, please speak English in the chat. Cannot read that. Don't speak a different language. Yeah, today I haven't pressed no buttons. No sell, no buy buttons have been touched. I saw a few examples of very successful trader that trade very little with big risk, and they're so confident, accurate, and super disciplined. Yes. Yeah, that's naturally what's gonna happen. You know, given the right amount of time, you're gonna end up taking less trades. Yeah, you can get the trading journal for free. Just go in the description box and just request for the free journal. There's one link over there that says free journal. Remember Ted, he used to say, if you don't understand, zoom out. Yeah, if you don't understand what's currently happening, 100%, like, you know, you can zoom out. But you're gonna watch my recent video, and I share a very nice, not recent, but watch the 3, my favorite 3 entries video. Go on my channel and look for the only 3 entry setups you'll ever need. And there's a really nice trick in there on how you can, instead of zooming out, because you know, sometimes people like they're going to zoom out and they're still going to get confused because of structure, analysis paralysis, you know, even if you zoom out, because the markets are fractal. So zooming out is just kind of like zooming out of the confusion maybe you're also already seeing on the lower time frame. So there's another way of doing it, which is like really nice. And that's going to help you. And that's what we use from a day-to-day basis without needing to actually go on the higher time frames. Like we can just say on here on the 1 minute chart and already get the zoomed out effect. The structure is so nice, but I would love a retracement before push up. I would love this thing to push up first, more, and then create the structure and then push up more. Because if it retraces now, that's going to take us down to what? We're already 0.30%. That's going to take us back down to the 20s. I will talk Russian. We talk Dutch. Some Holland people here. You know, the problem is before was like a lot of like, when I saw it streaming, there were so many Indians, right? And the whole chat was written in Indian. So it's like, man, I can't let this get out of control. Because the moment people start to do that, like the whole chat, the whole vibe just changes when it's a different language. I can't even read it at that point anymore. So I was saying, bro, can you please tell me buy or sell in Indian? Tell me Banchod. Banchod, tell me now, Banchod. Are we buying or selling? Man, this thing is like seriously about to skyrocket. Just putting some fuel in the tank. Once it gets through 39.88, then we might see another distribution. It seems like for me, if I'm gonna take anything, it's gonna be the next hourly candlestick. Oh no, oh no. All right, here comes the break. Can this hourly make it though? That's the question. Look at this, like 15 minutes, 30 seconds for it to close. Oh, there it is. Oh, Lee, can you actually do it? It's got like 44. How much minutes we got left? Like, yeah, we still have about 15. Damn, I know it's still got like a good 40 pips. It still has a good 40 pips in this hourly, though. But holy man, look at that! Ooh, wow, man, already pushed up here, so nice. Holy,
why are you running?
Damn, man, I knew it. This hourly still had like a little bit of juice inside of it, but not where I wanted to take it. Man, beautiful. Look at this. Just pushed up here like 30 pips. That's what I love. Once you get volume in, and you get structure, and then you get volume again. Now we're getting up to the heights that I want to see it at. You caught it? Nice one. Yeah, that's what we mean by risk is discretionary in trading. You know, we could all see the same setup, but we're gonna all have like a different approach to like the risk, different feeling for the type of risk that we're taking. So for me, it feels like a big risk, even if the setup is there, because I want to go in like a proper trade. Or let me say, I don't want to. Sometimes people reduce their risk so they can take smaller trades. Like, holy, sheesh. Yeah, that's a 40 pips I was talking about. This candle still had about like 40 pips inside of it. Now we wait for that hourly, next hourly open in about 13 minutes. God damn. You know, especially like the buyers from all the way down over here. Man, insane risk to reward. Imagine just with the usual 16 pip stop losses that I use. Imagine how massive this would be. It's like a 1 to 16. Damn. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Again, you see another distribution. Look where it's coming from, guys. Look where it's coming from. Insane. Insane. This is TFX concepts right here. You know, because they're the only two setups that we've spoken about since the stream started. We acknowledged the sellers over here. We understood what happened here and let that distribute. And then, you know, this was the next bus stop over there too. Got another bus stop over here too. We got 1, 2 bus stops and distribution. Awesome. Very nice. No smart money concepts or no over trading, or let's say no. Oh, damn, Goldie. Full of surprises. This is now what we're getting, like a Freaky Friday here. Proper Freaky Friday. Sheesh. Yeah, I think that's awesome. You know, when you're gonna like paper trade a system and you're gonna see it happen over and over again like this, don't feel FOMO that you're missing out. Man, feel motivated that it's actually happening. That what you're doing and what you're thinking is you're not crazy. That there's actually some kind of like, you know, something that's happening. There's like a spark when you do that. You know, that's what you should be feeling. That's what happens when you learn how to impulse entry. You're going to paper trade it. You're going to watch it for a while. And then, you know, eventually after, let's say like a month or two, you're going to start like executing on that idea. Right? So don't feel like you missed out on it. This is happening literally every day. Every hourly candlestick can give you an opportunity like this. A really good. Well, not exactly like this, but you know, a pretty good opportunity. If you measure an average hourly candlestick on gold from wick to wick, you're talking about like, you know, hundreds of pips. Look at how massive these candles are of late. Huge. Let's check even this smaller one over here. That smaller one is already 124 pips. So instead of like trying to catch the whole thing, like when you're trying to look at all these whole time frames like this, just pay attention to those hourly candles. How can you get the most refined entry from those hourly candles? Use SMC. I thought you used structure and order blocks. No, I just use structure like this. Yeah, you can call that an order block. I don't know, but I just use the structure and then, you know, I expect that result. I am a very dumb money concepts person because smart money never worked for me. The only thing that worked for me was dumb money. So you know, like I'm like a monkey, right? If price moves up, I say, okay, price is moving up. If price moves sideways, I say, okay, price is moving sideways. So I got to use my monkey intelligence to tell me what price is going to do next. Whether we're going to break the highs and go up, or whether we're going to break the lows and go down. And then what's the context of the overall market? What's the overall market doing? Maybe throw in a bit of macroeconomics in there, see what the macros are saying, see if we get any news for Forex Factory, you know, pretty basic stuff over here. And also just watching the charts, like, is there a volume in the market? Is there no volume? Because right now what you're seeing is volume, right? Price is moving up. So why would you do the opposite? If you know price is moving up, why would you sell? Because you feel it's too high? You know, when you feel it's too high, you're going to get a really big whip over there. Because price will keep moving up against you when you feel that it's too high. That weekly candle looks fun. Now it's pulling back up again, eh? Look at these insane weekly candlesticks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've literally had 8 weeks straight bull runs on Goldie. 2 months worth of like just straight bullishness. See if it comes to test our buddies here again. Says, oh, you think you're gonna be greedy? Well, think again. I'm gonna come back in here, maybe stop some trading stops if I'm still thinking about moving up. But that was already a pretty big push though. A really nice push there. About like 60 pips from that wick. So not yet what I want to see. I want to see now if, you know, create structure over here with that new hourly open. It could be interesting. 4-hour SMA. Oh, nice. Yeah, true. We just got tapped into 4-hour SMA. Like a magnet, right? It's a small little kiss of death that just happened over here. 4-hour SMA. Now we're gonna take it up a step. So you see it's moved one step from here. I'm gonna see if it creates another step for us to continue pushing up. Got about like 8 minutes for the new hourly open. If I'm working with big range and my original low is cleared, but then price starts creating several new lows just outside my set zone, say above 1.5 pips, should I update my reference low? Yeah, definitely you should. You should. So you mean like if this wick comes in and takes out these lows to updates there? Yeah, it has to be. Lows forming around this level. Yeah, this will be the key low right there. Then that wicked already, so you gotta use that. New hourly open soon. Where are we heading off? Auli. Oh wow, look at this. Man, look at this. Auli has closed above resistance, so will most likely close above resistance. And then you got so much range for Auli to move up. You already had like a nice little bit of liquidity situation that happened over here. Liquidity grab. Auli candlestick is about to close above resistance right now. And you got this whole range. You got a 300 pip range for price to move up there. Look at that. 30 minutes about to close above resistance. 30 minute looks good. Oh, this would be a nice move. I still think price can go up here. Create a support. But you know, we still have to create a bit more structure. This is not enough for me yet. You need to like create a bit more structure there. I think, you know, that's something I'm gonna give a shot. If it prints the way I think it's gonna print, yeah, I'm gonna give it a shot there at that point. It's been a while, sir. Where have you been? I've been here. Where have you been? I've been showing up. Where have you been, sir? Because you're not at the office. I'm at the office every day. You're not at the office. I don't see you around the office. Then November came. Man, I wish it was yesterday. But I've been listening to this song since like 2020-ish. 2020-ish. And it always amazes me how fast time goes. It's like yesterday, we were on our way. But November came. Man, I wish it was yesterday. It's already November. Next month again. This song is kind of a reminder of how fast time goes. It's like all this kind of reminds me that not to forget to make a life instead of a living. Because it is insane how fast time goes. This year is already over. You can't hear any music? Volume profile is clean up. You guys should be able to hear the music. Can you guys hear the music in the chat? It sometimes depends on the kind of speaker you're using. If you're using headphones. Or if you're listening to it on the TV, maybe you can't hear it that well. I know in the Discord there's no music. If I put music in the Discord, it's gonna be kind of annoying. It's gonna be a little bit loud. Checking 1, 2. Able to hear the live. Oh man, Goldie, you really gonna leave me now? Because I was so ready for you here. New hourly candlestick just opened up, but it hasn't created now my structure. Man, don't just move up without me like that, Goldie. Come on now. Look at this freaking hourly candle open right here. Just push up like 30 pips. Oh yeah, I can't click on that link. Maybe just send me a picture of it. Need some access. Yesterday we were on our way. But November came. Man, I wish it was yesterday. Yeah, it would be nice for price to pull back just a little bit more. Of course, we still need a bit more structure than this. You know, put my stop loss. Maybe put my stop loss down here. Get my phone out. Get my phone out. Get my lot sizes ready. I'm gonna start massaging my account now. I'm just getting it ready, getting it warmed up, giving it a one good massage for one more trade for the week. Getting the account ready for one more trade for the week. Get it nicely massaged over here. All right, let's go. You know, some people are massaging their account for really one more trade for the account today. Maybe they've been over risking this weekend and now they're massaging. This is the last $100 left. Let's go. Let's go. Gotta get this ready here. So we're gonna get all manner of massaging going on here today. Are you gonna take the trade? Yeah, if it sets up a little bit better. You know, we don't want to ruin it, right? We don't want to ruin it. Because, you know, you got to stop ruining it. Every day on a Friday, you got to stop ruining it. Having an amazing week. Maybe some people have an amazing week. Now they're massaging their account for one more bomber clot.
Bomber clot!
And then that's a bomber clot that gives it all away. So, you know, we're gonna wait over here a bit longer. I want to see price come down a bit more. Just need an easy one. I would like to see also if these lows can get taken out too. Take these lows out. That could be interesting. Some like inverted head and shoulders. I don't want it to push up straight, right? Because if it pushes up straight, it's not giving this hourly enough time to, you know, it's got to stretch its legs first. It's got to come down here, create a nice little hourly bottom wick like this, a proper bottom wick. Retest this area properly. You know, we got to limber up. Gotta limber up before ready to start moving. So I don't want it to just move immediately. I want it to first come down. And hopefully it comes down like beautifully. So it doesn't create any confusion here. Okay, pretty decent, pretty decent. A little bit of a fakey if this candlestick closes above and then we skyrocket upwards. So we got that break and retest. So basically the idea here is chat, like, let me just remove this. So we're going to do naked shots. All right, let me just put the screen. Basically, it's a break and a retest of the hourly. We have hourly clean range over here. We all know that gold is kind of more bullish overall. So, you know, it's a good thing to be getting into buys, especially when seeing volume like this coming into the market. Currently, the daily is trending right now. It is trending bullish. Got a 30-minute break. The 30-minute break above. Yeah, we got a 30-minute break above here. So we're just kind of like retesting this zone with clean 30-minute range on the left-hand side there too. It could be like a shotgun play. You think about like a shotgun play with having this candlestick create a bottom wick first so we can put our stop loss below that bottom wick area over there. so that price can continue to move upwards. Interestingly enough, it still respected those lows. It didn't even break the lows. It came really close, but it looks like we're getting a lot of bullish momentum. So we still respected those lows. All right, here comes the volume. See, the buyers are coming in. So you got loads of bullish momentum here. All right, so this has to be the one that breaks. Since we created a new higher high there. So you're going to get triggered in. I would ideally want that candlestick to break. If it doesn't break, then I'm going to have to wait for a bit of structure. So you got 10 seconds. All right, I just took a buy over here. Oh, Lee. Come on, let's fly, Goldie. We got a liquidity grab confluence there on the 5-minute as well. Let's fly, Goldie. Come on now. I believe in you.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Definitely more bullish than bearish overall. Just got a new 5-minute candlestick open up. Putting my stop loss here to break even. Expecting price to continue moving up bullish. It's about like 20 pips up right now. Risk-free trade. Risk-free trade. Let's go. See if we can survive these little pullbacks here. But see how the 5-minute candle just closed there? There's no top wick on this 5-minute candlestick. So I don't want to see this thing pull back down. I got a top wick on my broker though. We peaked here about a 26 pips. You know, congratulations anybody caught this move. You managed to secure something from those 26. Very well done. For Freaky Friday over here, I'm just going to hold this out from break even. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Fly, Goldie. Rebel gives you wings. We got clean range on the left-hand side. 30-minute looks good. Hourly looks good. Kind of being greedy over here today. Oh, we got 33. Awesome. Securing something over here, guys. Let's freaking go. Secured there at about 33. Let's go, boys. And all we had to do was just wait for the market to come to us. You know, we're like that lion. You see, we're like that lion now. The old geezer in the jungle. You know, the old geezer, you saw the young lions were having too much fun. And he was like, all right, boys, time to come in now. Boom. Don't worry, we can still keep going up. I've been doing this for years. Let's get it. 42. Oh, Lee. Got some sellers really getting whips over here today. Damn, let's go, guys. Damn, look at this. What do we say? Stick with the market. When the market shows you a direction, you gotta go with the market. It's not about smart money concepts, FVGs. It's not. The market doesn't know any of that. All it knows is direction, right? Where are we heading to? Then the whole idea behind the strategy is to just get you into the trade. But you know, when the market's going somewhere, these levels are like magnets, right? And price will just gonna respect. And man, the beautiful thing about this trade is go and watch the latest simulation that we did. The most recent simulation that we did, go and watch it and you'll see exactly why we took this position here today. And you know, we also spoke about it. We wanted to see it level up a little bit more and then give us another break. So it's the same exact trade that we did in the last simulation. Beautiful. This is TFX concepts, baby. Zero drawdown. Zero drawdown, efficient entries. Efficient entry. Efficient entry. This one gave a bit of drawdown, but you know, I think when you chase the skill, that's the most important thing. And that's why I say, like, these are how the trades should play out. You know, we all want our trades to play out like this, but for this system, this is how the trade should play out. If it gives you a hard time, it's basically giving you an option to manage your risk. That's it. This is also a scale-in confirmation entry from these entries down over here. If you got an entry over here, stop loss to break even, got another setup, scale back into your trade. We've also covered this during the simulations. So it's really important to go through those sims. Nice one, Ricardo. Got the trade, 50 pips in the pocket. This is a consolidation breakout. 80. Consolidation breakout. That's all it is. Nice. My name is Borat. I like. Man, smart money concepts people must be like, damn, this guy. My wife is starting next week learning more about trading. She already watched me, so something is there. I think she starts on baby pips next week, and following week I start showing market structure, then teach only consolidation setup. Oh, nice. Yeah, if she's interested in it. I don't force trading on anybody, that's for sure. But if people got like some genuine interest, I think it's pretty good skill to learn. At least you can have conversations with people, you know. You never know who you meet in real life. You meet another trader and you know a little bit something about trading. It's an instant connection. I think it's very good for networking purposes too. Man, I can't tell you the connection you build with traders. Like, when you meet people outside and they also trade, it's like instant connection. You're like, oh shit, really? What do you trade? What strategy you trade? And it's like breaking the ice so much nicer. I'm up 15% this week, so calling my day and no more trade. Just gonna enjoy the rest of the day watching anime. Very nice, very nice. Up about like almost 10%. Below 10%, but almost. And we still have potentially 40 more trades to go this month, depending on how the month goes. I take a lot of trades. Maybe like 30 trades, 30 more. Not 40. 40 will be wild. Like 30. I really didn't plan on taking a trade today on stream. But you know, this proves to show again like what's possible with patience and just letting the market come to you. So if you could make every day like this, where you're not even expecting to take a trade, I tell you those are the best. And it's never too high, you know. You feel like you missed the move, but you're still gonna get a good move. Even though you didn't catch this one, or maybe you didn't catch this one, you could have caught that one before the reversal. Sometimes what I notice with the trades is the ones which are a little bit more clear for people are kind of like they can be the later ones. So you might even see like some massive retracements come in. Sometimes a market's like that, you know, like the really clear ones are a bit of like the later ones, you know, but it's still pretty decent push. You got a massive candlestick coming in here, taking people out. Look at that. She likes it and she's not pirate like me. She's following rules and she's very strict with money, so I think she'll be better than you. Yeah, because you know they can call it a day. Like women, they can call it a day so much easier than a man can. I feel like a woman she'll take the trade and she'll just call it a day. But man, the ego of a man will just want to keep trading, keep, you know, trying to prove himself, trying to prove yourself to the market. There's no one you're proving yourself to. You're only proving yourself to yourself. It's only you against you at the end of the day. So you're going to prove to yourself by being more humble. Are we going for a short? I managed 40 pips on the previous buy. No, I will not do anything now because, you know, I can go off into the weekend, and if I meet somebody on the weekend, I can say, you know, I took a trade on a Friday and it was a winning trade. But if I take another trade, I'm opening myself up to more risk that now I'm going to give back the profits that I already made. You know, and why would I do that? The market's not going anywhere. It's going to be here on Monday morning. Right? So whenever you look at it that way, it's like, why do you need to overtrade if the market is here tomorrow? It's not going anywhere. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to wait for Battlefield 6 is coming out in the next 5 hours, 40 minutes. And then I'm going to go and play Battlefield 6. So we should be getting the worldwide release in the next 5 hours, 40 minutes. Gonna go and get some sniper shots in there. Got snipers on the charts and snipers in the trenches. Oh, you drop your tag for Battlefield? Add me on what's it called? On Steam. This is my name. Org Mist. With 2 eyes. Add me on Steam. Org Mist. PC. Yeah, we got some soldiers in the chat. Nice to see. People taking, man, if you see this game's release, man, if you go on the forums, people are literally taking the next week off. They're taking the next week off work. You know, they're just taking the day off work even today. People not going to work today. Like, everybody's literally just gearing up for this. It's gonna be a bloodbath. It's gonna be a bloodbath today. I already got it preloaded and everything. Just gotta press play. Oh, you got PS5? I'm gonna be playing with PC gamers, but I'll be using a controller here. I've got my camo ready to go. Get in these trenches. Too much violence in the game, can't play. Oh, too much violence in the world, can't play violent games. Well, you're gonna hate GTA, that's for sure. Make sure it's charged. Yeah, it's always charged because you gotta plug it in the PC. If you don't plug it in with the cable, then you don't get the haptic feedback. I think all that I spend my money on is just technology, if anything. Love tech. With the flying motorbikes, do you have EA account for crossplay? Yeah, I think I'm gonna need an EA account for Battlefield, but I do have one. I have crossplayed before on that EA account. Okay, now my new favorite trader on YT. Thank you. This is the best London session stream. I can guarantee you that. You know, if you're not like a complainer and you genuinely want to learn how to trade and get better, then you know this is the right place for you. Here you can see what I mentioned in live chat. I think you gotta send a label chart. Trades taken, London session. Oh, this guy's still holding here. Man, crazy. Let's freaking go. Got another buy here too. Let's get it. WWW. Oh, we got Faye in the chat. Hi folks, great to be here learning from Vic. Been trading unprofitably for a few years now, so looking to finally have a strategy that I can be consistent with and learning about candlestick behavior. I'm close to retirement age and would like to have a regular side income from trading. I live in West Australia. Oh, nice. Yeah, welcome. We got Hanan from Dubai here. Got through YT. Welcome, welcome. Western Australia. I think I mentioned this before, but my brother used to study in Perth. Looks pretty nice over there. Really nice beaches. I think I even applied once to an Australian uni. Oh, wait, did I? No, I think the process... Yeah, I couldn't apply to Australian university. The process is a bit different. Because when I did, like, when you do your IGCSEs or your A-levels or what have you, I think more like A-levels, the translation of those grades into that Australian system is different. So I think I would have needed to also do like a foundation year. Beautiful beaches. We live not far from Perth. Just got back from a trip to East Africa. Oh, where were you in East Africa? Honestly, I think like in Africa, like no shade to people, but you gotta travel like maybe North Africa, South Africa, or Kenya and East Africa. All the other African countries, no shade, but you cannot compete with these three parts over here. No, North Africa is quite interesting. Like South Africa, you still got the Atlantic Ocean. You still have East Africa, Indian Ocean. It's the same ocean we share with the Maldives. Beautiful, clean water, amazing weather. These other African countries, I don't know. South Africa, come here. Yeah. Kenya, Tanzania. Oh, nice. Yeah, perfect. Oh, yeah. Tanzania is beautiful. Tanzania is also pretty nice. Yeah, anybody who's been to Kenya will only tell you nice things. I'm sure you really enjoyed your holiday. Search. Let's see what's going on here. Zero drawdown. I'm gonna visit Alaska. The thing I don't like about South Africa is the Atlantic Ocean is too freaking cold. It's so cold. It's like ice water. And you see like local kids just swimming in that like it's just normal. And like when I went surfing in Musenberg, my toes felt like they were about to fall off. Like I was literally getting frostbite in that water. My girlfriend was like, nah, I can't do this anymore. And she got out. Let me see. Maybe I even got some videos. I got some videos somewhere. No. It's in a zip folder. Don't know which one. Oh, word? Durban instead of Cape Town has a warm beach? Um... Yeah, what time is it right now? 5:30. Yeah, this is a candle. This is an hourly candle that's probably gonna chill out for a bit because we've already had much of a move. We've already had majority of the moves play out. The next move is probably coming in at the pre New York candlestick. I'm thinking about selling a couple of contracts if it dips below the swing low. What you think? Yeah, I think like let's see here in the 5-minute. It's the swing low. I think this is gonna be the key area that you need to see price break below. There's gonna be that 5-minute support. Because if you can break below that 5-minute support, then you're gonna have a better chance to maybe catch some bigger retracement, some bigger pullback. But right now, I wouldn't go against the flow of the market. You can see the market is still moving up bullish, right? Still moving up bullish. Don't get against the flow of the market. Just keep trading with the market. Keep going with it. The only time is like maybe if you see structure shift, but you see it's still creating new higher low, higher low, higher low over here. So maybe until you see actual weakness and like a change of direction, then you say, okay, maybe we're turning now. But as long as it's moving up like this, just stick with that overall direction there. It literally dipped for you on the 1 to 5 minute and 5-minute. Thinking of, yeah, I did. I'm thinking of taking a nap before pre and why I keep drifting off. Let's see what video this is. Oh, no, this was at a party in South Africa. This is like one of my buddies here were DJing. This is what I like about SA. Look how cool SA look. It's so beautiful. You got like a whole tennis court back over there. Very nice roads. You got like this hilly. This was in Gauteng. This is where I used to live. You got this very nice like open space. It's like so open space. Like everything's so sick. Problem is just the politics of the country. Then here I am talking with my buddies over here. It's quite a while ago. There's young Vic. This guy's so awesome. His dad is actually one of the stakeholders of Al Jazeera. This guy I'm not sure who this guy is. I came with this guy. So now he's like a journalist. Owns his own kind of like, I think, travel agency. Yeah, parties in SA are pretty nice. I don't know where this video is. Let me try one more. Pioneer XDJ, good bit of kit. Last one downloading. Let's extract this bad boy and see. Oh, no. Oh, it's a different angle. Where the hell are these videos? Man, I found like a small snippet of it, but I couldn't find like the full video clips. These are like just a small edited video of it. It's like very short. Mark is just setting up here, folks. I don't think it's going to be going anywhere anytime soon. It's already done a lot of payouts. Wow, this is like crazy videos. Look at this old video that I edited here. I really like editing videos. So it's in Germany, and then this was in Kenya here. It's my buddy that was recording. It's like editing some of his footage too. Oh man, that kite is just throwing him around. He's ripping it too hard. He's pushing it way too hard. You gotta use that thing like finesse. You gotta finesse it. Because you're gonna push it and then the wind's just gonna take you. Off to the gym. Alright, catch you later. What do I think about trading silver? I don't trade silver. So I don't know. But silver is moving up. Alright, see you later, Luke. Yeah, that was Diani. This is gonna set up like a really big accumulation for price to keep moving up here because there's so much room left. It might need a little bit more structure. So I see it's starting to break into some kind of a potential range. Right? So let's go full screen. You can see we have this kind of range over here from this support to that resistance. It's like a 120 pip range. It's gonna build up some orders over here before it starts distributing again, most likely. So I think. But you know, the crazy thing is the 5 minute also. Okay, we created. All right, so we got resistance. These higher time frames don't have yet any structure. We got 15-minute resistance too. We don't have a 30-minute resistance. So all you gotta do is just at this point, enjoy your weekends, and I will see you all back on the charts Monday morning. Adios, everybody.
My body taking down what it did. Cash in the bank.